ay Wednesday.
Ako, pili ko, tinatamaan ako ng arthritis. Sakit ng, yung tawag dito, yung ankle ko.
Ako, hindi. Pareho tayo ng ganyan. Ganyan din ako. Hindi siya arthritis. Kasi wala siya.
Biglang sharp na pain.
Oo. Tapos pag tinapak mo ba yan? Kasi yun yung simula naman ng gout. Oo. Hindi kasi yun yung early stages. So, as long as you don't fucking drink that much, then it'll stay that way. Yan lang. Yan talaga. Sinyalis ng katanda. I've been having that for a long time. Wala naman ako exercise. So anyway. Yeah. Okay, so welcome. I don't know, man. What episode is this? Hindi pa ba tayo maabot ng 30? I think 30 na to, di ba?
Hindi pa.
Di ba ba? Or 29? I don't know. So anyway, guys, welcome. Pasensya nyo na, medyo may sakit ako ngayon. May sakit si Inang ngayon. Yun. So dalawa lang kami ni John ngayon. I think Vibs is gonna follow through. May customer daw siya. My God, why am I watching this on Facebook? May what do you call this? What do you call that stream where you eat? Mukbang, no? Mukbang. Some girl is eating shrimp. I don't know. Anyway, so what we're gonna talk about this episode, guys, is E3. So E3 tayo ngayon. Kung anong nangyari, what happened, ano yung mga pasabog, di ba? Kumbaga, ano yung pag-usapan. I think some of you guys have already watched, and we're just gonna show our commentary dun sa mga lumabas, kung maganda ba siya, kung okay ba siya o hindi. So, ang daming listahan. John and I is even commenting, sobrang daming games na lumabas sa listahan. Nakita mo ba? Grabe. I mean, these are a mix of old genres. Even yung mga parang parang definitive editions, remastered editions, we'll include them here. So mahaba-habang mga sequel, ganyan. So existing existing franchise na siya, may mga sumunod lang. Pero there are also disappointments kasi nga parang marami ako inabagan na hindi siya lumabas. Like from Ubisoft, I mean, let's start off. From Ubisoft, I mean, inaabangan ko ang Splinter Cell, if there was another Splinter Cell coming out, because that's how Ubisoft is. They can just release games because they're using the same platform, they're using the same systems. All they need is a good story and a good setting. Kumbaga, who's gonna create the world and everything. So that's the only thing that they actually do in Ubisoft. Pero they're using or sometimes improving on the old systems that they use. Para if you're a Ubisoft fan, if you play Ubisoft games, like The Division, For Honor, Watch Dogs, yung mga ganyan, it's Assassin's Creed, most of all. They're the same systems. When you check their map settings, it's the same. You can easily familiarize yourself with the systems and everything. So I have no issues with that. Kasi nga, I don't have to start from scratch. Wala na akong expectation. Ito yun. I'm just expecting the story, how the game is gonna bring me. Pero yun nga, as Ubisoft itself, yun lang yung medyo disappointment sa akin kasi inaabangan ko. Pero there are great games on Ubisoft. Diyan, nanood ka naman, di ba?
On off.
On off? Kasi ako nga, nakakatulugan ko eh. Pero ang hindi ko lang siguro nakatulugan is yung Microsoft. Not because I'm a real Microsoft fan or Xbox fan. It's just that they were the only press conference that I really expected to bring out a lot, because Sony is not there. So there's no 50-50 attention span. I already expect what Ubisoft was gonna release on how they're laging may Just Dance dyan, so abang lagi yung mga ganun yan eh. So tapos also pero there are new big conferences katulad ng mga sa Square Enix. They have a big conference this day. Bethesda did their usual, I think it's their second time or third time doing this. doing a press conference on E3 on their own. They're not piggybacking on Sony or Microsoft this time. They have their own. They had a lot of explaining to do. So, diba? Kasi
C76?
Fallout 76 lang eh. So, alam mo yun. So ang Bethesda studio, this Bethesda Game Studios is the one responsible for it. And sino bang Bethesda, ano yan? What do you call this? Sino bang Bethesda head? What's his name? Who was the CEO? Cut mo. This is Todd Howard, diba? All right. So, on Bethesda, Todd Howard summed it up on a few phrases. He said he said na it's been an interesting year for Bethesda games. So with that, with the interesting happens, it's actually surprising that you guys are still here. Kasi yun eh. Yun yung caveat doon eh. Nakakatawa kasi Fallout 76 parang mag-aalisan na talaga yung game yung mga gamers. Kasi gano'n naman sa on all honesty, I think most of the noisiest fans are like 20% of the fan base. 80% are always gonna stay silent about the game. If they don't like it, they just leave. They don't need to say anything. The loudest and the most concerned about is like the 20% na maingay sila. So it just seems that the entire fan base of Bethesda, or those who actually bought what do you call this, Fallout 76, all of them are scrambling to refund the game, pero hindi. Some of them are still there. Some of them are just stop playing, probably waiting for the time until gumanda yung game and everything. Pero yun nga. So let's go through, sige, Bethesda muna tayo. Let's go through yung mga
Dark Horse.
Unaffiliated. So one of the not really surprised, pero kasi a few weeks before E3, it already leaked footage, parang screenshots of what the game was, pero it was really a surprise that they actually announced it on E3 pa rin, which is Elden Ring, the game that was being collaborated by From Software, the creators of like the Soul series, Dark Souls and everything like that, and George R.R. Martin, the creator of A Song of Ice and Fire, or most famously Game of Thrones, diba? So
kaya hindi pala natapos yung books eh.
Oo nga eh. Well, naman siya. I trust him. I treat George R.R. Martin the same as I treat CG Project Red. You go ahead and do it when it's ready. Kasi nga he doesn't write chronologically, meaning from start to finish. He just writes and writes. Kasi nga most of his words are point of view eh. If anybody has read A Song of Ice and Fire series, it's point of views, meaning in this style you can write it whenever you want. Diba? Kasi parang you can write simultaneously 2 books at the same time. Diba? Kasi nga, it's point of view eh. Diba? So, pwede mo lang idugtong. Parang may editing process ka sa huli siguro pag ganun. Pero yun nga, medyo malayo na to sa topic ng Elden Ring. Pero, honestly, we don't know anything about the game. It's just a cinematic trailer, teaser, kumbaga, of what the game world is like. Pero, From Software is sometimes so weird because they're Japanese. Parang
taking the page of Hideo.
Oo, parang si Hideo eh. Parang, ano yan? Anong ibig sabihin yan? So, creepy na naman yung world. Parang, ano ba yan? Bakit suot-suot niya yung kamay ng isang tao? Diba? Parang, what the hell is Elden Ring? Pero yun nga, ang usual naman dito is, kaya nagiging trend to sa gaming is, but why movie writers or movie directors are actually, or writers themselves are actually going into gaming. Why? Because that's the trend now. That you can hire writers. They don't really know anything, even if they don't know anything about the video gaming industry or whatnot. You don't care because what you're trying to go for is a good story that you can build a game world around. So because of the technologies ngayon, kaya mo nang gawin yun eh. Ang dami-dami ng breakthroughs pagdating sa storytelling sa mga iba-ibang video games. Eh, minsan sobrang pangit ng game pero ang ganda ng story eh. 'Di ba? I mean, madali na lang yung mga ganun. I mean, yung napanood mo ba yung documentary ng what do you call this? Documentary ng For Honor, 'di ba? So, 'di ba? So yung For Honor is this writer was like gusto niya maging baby yung game mismo. Why? Because he knows about the video game industry. And yun yung problem if you're attached to the game also. You can be attached to the story, pero if you're just a writer, if you just created the world with the pen and paper, then stay out of the gaming industry na. Stay out of the technicalities of the game. Hayaan mo na kung anong mangyayari dun sa game. Pero yung story kasi, yung lore is different. Because, I mean, people like me actually look for a lore in even the simplest game. Kasi you wanna find out more underneath the game. Kaya ba, hindi discuss ng game yon kasi naglalaro ka, tapos you finish the story. Pero may mga characters na parang, ano kaya story behind nun? So may mga YouTube channels na nagdidepende sa I mean yung content nila is focused on the lore, on specific parts of the game, specific storylines, characters and everything. And the sources for these are the ones that the writers actually wrote, not the developers. 'Di ba? So yan, ngayon E3 ang daming I think ang daming RPG. This is probably the most RPG centric E3 most of all. There are no super bagong RPG, pero most of the games that are released is RPG. So medyo parang kinain ng E3 yung ano nila. Pinangalandakan nila parang 2 years ago.
Contra bumalik na.
Yun nga eh. Yun yung mga surprising kasi madami din ganun eh. Like nobody asked for it and it's coming out. Di ba? Yung parang saan ba yun? Sa Nintendo, right? I think is it did they release
Konami?
it under Nintendo? Konami, tama, Konami. Nakakatawa kasi talaga Contra. Gusto ba natin magka-Contra? Gusto ba natin magka-Contra? Hindi. Pero when I saw the trailer was like, I think Konami also announced yung Contra Anniversary. Contra Anniversary Collection is already out.
Okay.
So, they also released yun nga, in-announce nila yung parang merong Rogue Core. Na parang lumalabas parang alien, may mga alien din na characters, mga ganun.
Alam mo ba, naglabas ng video yung GameSpot na about yung Contra. Tapos hindi ko nakakalain na ang dami palang iteration yung Contra.
Oo, sobrang dami. Kasi nga, they were trying to feed on the popularity of Contra before, because right now you can still promise someone or pitch a game. Ikaw, you even have anyone who has played Contra before can actually pitch Contra on modern generation consoles. Kasi di ba bakit ka magsistick sa 2D, bakit magsistick sa 3D? Pwede mo kang gawing parang yan eh. Kung may skin nga yan, ginawa ko yan sa XCOM.
Speaking of 2D to 3D, yung remake ng Final Fantasy, grabe.
Oo nga. Final
Fantasy 7 yung remake.
Oo.
Kung nakita ko yun, parang gusto ko nang itry itong Final Fantasy.
Hindi ka talaga nagpa-Final Fantasy noon?
Hindi ako lumaki sa Final Fantasy.
Talaga. Kasi ako, I mean, I knew what Final Fantasy was. Lalo na sa mga, sa family computer pa lang eh. Tapos sa Super NES, yun, alam ko na kung ano siya. Pero yung mga Secret of Mana, yung mga ganyan. Pero I never played those games because solo yung games na yun eh. Hindi pa ako ma-RPG noon eh, nung panahon na yun. Hindi pa ako ma-RPG. Kasi nga parang, ang hirap nakakatamad magbasa. Kasi nga, ang requirement sa RPG, what is the requirement, the initial
RPG? Yun dati. Ang daming text.
Exactly. What's the initial requirement for RPG? You talk to every NPC around. I think Castlevania 2, dun pa lang na-turn off na ako sa Castlevania 2. Kasi Castlevania first, di ba? Yung first Castlevania is like 2D action game na mahirap, di ba? Tapos I think Castlevania 2 came out and then you can talk to people on the town. It was like, why am I talking to people in the town? So I have to talk to them to actually know what am I gonna do or ganyan-ganyan. Para sa like, katamad. Syempre, I was playing on console. So syempre, na-expect ko parang action lang naman ng laro, di ba? Pero it's not that I'm against reading kasi nga, at that time, I was also playing on PC and I was reading Civilization. Text sa Civilization. So I was into that. Pero sabi ko, kasi mas relax sa PC pag mga ganong klaseng games, di ba? Pero pagdating mo sa console, you expect action, you expect ganyan. Kaya mas mabenta ang action RPGs pag kumpara sa kahit anong RPG, di ba? CRPGs, di ba? Yung mga computer RPGs. Ngayon kasi parang yung CRPG kasi is parang it's now not only PC. Dati kasi parang PC lang yan. Hindi na sa PC yan. Basta CRPG is already a genre on itself. Usually isometric yan. Tapos may mga party kayo. Pero it can be played on consoles now kasi nga sa technology and all that. So yun, ano pa ba? Isa pa, nakakatawa. We didn't expect it to, or nobody expected it. They have hints that Nintendo was working on it, pero they didn't expect it this early na Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild 2. Diba? Kasi, and they were calling it Breath of the Wild 2, which is funny. Kasi dapat, diba, parang usually Legend of Zelda and then another title. Pero they're continuing parang Breath of the Wild 2. So it's not an expansion. Siguro they initially made it as an expansion, pero parang sila, ang laki ng game. Sige, part 2 na lang, diba? Siguro ganun nangyari. Kaya nakakatawa kasi this is the first time I'm seeing, I don't know, Majora's Mask, does it have a part 2? No, I think it's just one game, di ba?
Hindi ko alam. Nakakalam niyan.
Sino? Si Rainier. Si Rainier. Nintendo fan kasi yun. So, yun nga. So, alam mo, Legend of Zelda, ito, announced din, parang Link's Awakening, di ba? So, parang, oh my God, parang Breath of the Wild. So yun, ano pa ba? Nintendo, ano pa ba? Yung mga coming out on Switch is Super Mario Maker 2, which is I think a big news for all Nintendo fans kasi nga yung Mario Maker 1 maganda siya not because maganda yung game talaga, maganda yung whatever. Pero the community is so crazy kung ano yung mga pinagagagawa nilang levels and everything. So, nakakatawa kasi challenging siya. I think Dragon Quest Builders 2 is also coming out. To North America to kasi na-release na siya matagal na sa Japan ano pa ba? Resident Evil 5 and Resident Evil 6 is coming to Switch.
Star Wars.
What's Star Wars? For EA? From EA?
EA ba yung ano natin? Yeah.
From EA.
Fallen Order.
Anong masasabi mo sa Fallen Order?
At RPG siya na walang micro.
Hindi, single player So, I mean, I doubt naman magkaroon ng
pero dati kasi kung ano-ano yung dinadagdag nila
I mean, they learned, I think they've learned from that early on. Pero kasi microtransactions and loot boxes, I think you can expect it from a live service game. And this is not a live service game. It's a single player. So it's not a surprise to me na wala siyang whatever loot boxes or whatever like that. Pero I think may cosmetic skins pa rin yan. Meron pa rin yung cosmetic skins.
Okay. Pero I believe in Respawn. Respawn ang gumawa nito, di ba?
Oo. Ang akin lang kasi, ako this is I don't know if anybody likes Star Wars, yung Jedi Fallen Order. But I'm reserving my first impressions to that. I mean, when the teaser released, nagustuhan ko yung teaser. I was like, wow, okay to. When they showed the gameplay, hindi ako natuwa. I mean, seriously, hindi ako natuwa. Kasi parang, oh my God, this is gonna be a boring game. Seriously, it's gonna be a boring game. First of all, I would understand why a specific Jedi or someone who became a Jedi acts like that. Kasi parang medyo new age Jedi siya kasi nandun siya sa mundo ng ano eh. Ano ba to? Before, kaya lang kasi nakakatawa kasi before ano to eh. After the first trilogy to, di ba? In between, I think. Kasi,
ano to? Yung survivor siya ng Order 66.
Yun nga.
Pero
I think siguro Padawan lang siya noon kasi because of his hair.
Siya.
So Padawan lang siya, nag-survive and all that. Pero nakakatawa kasi parang and I think this is a Padawan that didn't live in the temple because he's acting differently eh. Kung parang
ganito yan eh. Hindi pa siya masyadong trained. He's still with his master. Tapos nangyari Order 66, namatay master niya. So ang ano niya is to lie low. Hindi pa complete ang training niya eh.
Yun nga, ang sinasabi ko naman is parang hindi to tumira sa temple. Hindi to tinrain sa temple. Hindi to kasama dun sa mga...
malaki na siya eh. So,
Oo nga.
Pag kids kasi sila sa temple. Pero once na ano na sila, they go out.
Oo nga. Pero kasi I don't think na talagang tumira siya sa temple. Why? Because he doesn't have the decorum of like an Obi-Wan. He doesn't have the decorum of an Obi-Wan. Para siyang Luke Skywalker. Para siyang Luke Skywalker. Nakatira siya sa backwater planet. And
whiny ano ba?
Why? Because hindi naman siya whiny. I'm saying is parang yung decorum kasi ng isang Jedi is mostly reserved. Ito kasi expressive eh. And the Jedi Order doesn't like expressive people. And you will be called out sa expressiveness mo. Pwede ka mag-init ang ulo mo parang into the fight and everything, pero making snide comments while you were is not becoming of a Jedi. So parang I don't know how they're gonna spin the story here of why, pero it's a good na parang siguro Padawan to na tinitrain outside of the order, outside of the temple. Kung ba parang malayo sila, backwater planet. O parang chapter siguro ng Jedi somewhere. O kaya siguro rebellious din yung master niya. Parang hindi, dito tayo mag-train sa malayo. Dito tayo mag-train sa isang planeta na to kasi force sensitive ka, mga ganyan. So parang siya, kumbaga parang mahilig silang mag-makeshift ng parang yung kung ano na lang yung gamitin nila, kung paano na lang sila. Tsaka the way he was using his lightsaber is more of like yung tradition. Yung isang Jedi game na lumabas? I think it's from EA din.
Kotor? Recently o matagal na?
Yung apprentice siya ni Darth Vader. Tapos parang siya. Yun. He uses lightsaber like that. He's not
Force Unleashed.
He doesn't use the lightsaber as one of the 7 forms. Hindi ko makita eh. Hindi ko makita yung mga forms doon sa mga galaw niya. So parang sabi ko, bakit parang ang tagal niya nang hindi gumagamit ng lightsaber? Parang bakit ganun siya gumamit ng lightsaber and parang gumagamit siya ng backhand, gumagamit siya ng parang sabi ko, hindi yung usual lightsaber forms, 'di ba? So, ang kasi makikita mo kung paano ba lumaban si what do you call this? Paano ba lumaban si one of the great, si Yoda? Paano siya gumamit? Automatic makikita mo agad may form siya, may may sinusunod lang siyang pattern. Kasi lalaban siya against sa another lightsaber na alam din niya kung ano yung ginagamit na form. Ano yung pangontra doon. And tagal niyang matalo yung double-bladed electrified staff nung isa, samantalang Jedi siya. So para sabi ko, yan yung unang-una mong malalaman talaga kung paano ka lumaban sa Jedi or kung lumaki ka sa temple. Yan yung mga unang-una alam mo kagad kung paano lumaban gamit ang lightsaber, yung mga specific forms, kung paano ka, pero talagang sabi ko, para tong backwater na ano lang, parang si ano, parang si Rey. So parang sabi ko, di ba? So parang si Rey to.
Parang yung unang laban ni Rey kay ano.
Oo, parang wala lang.
Haphazard ano lang.
Oo. Kasi maiintindihan mo yun kung Sith ka. Diba? Kung Sith ka, your forms are like all over because you're passionate, you're kahit anong, 'di ba, mag-work because I'm fighting through passion. Pero if you're using, 'di ba, tranquility and ano, parang kailangan may forms ka, meron kang set, 'di ba? Parang kendo. Hindi ka pwede mag-deviate from that na parang barbarian. 'Di ba? Kasi 'di ba kasi doon naman siya based, 'di ba, yung mga forms. Pero kung Sith ka, kahit anong gusto mong gawin Kung ano-ano nga itsura ng mga swords ng Sith, 'di ba? May mga whip pa, may mga 'di ba? Sa comics naman 'to. 'Di ba? May iba-ibang klaseng
EU Extended Universe.
Oo, yung Extended Universe nila na may mga whip pa yung mga may lightsaber whip. Sabi ko, wow. Sobrang iba talaga ang mga Sith talaga kung gumamit. Kaya nga mas gusto ko ang Sith kasi parang hindi lang sila kulay brown Pwede sila mag-neon colors kung gusto nila. Pero yun nga, I mean, I hope for the best, pero what we're seeing naman is very a very early build of Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, and kasi nakita mo lang agad, 'di ba, sa simula, kaya siya gawa ng sino nga gumawa? Respawn. Nakita mo tumakbo sa pader. Sabi ko, wow.
Respawn talaga.
Respawn nga talaga.
Hindi game ng Respawn yan pag walang wall running.
Walang wall running. Sabi ko, Respawn talaga. Pero nakornihan nga ako dun Sabi ko, kayang tumalo ng Jedi kaya ang pinakamataas. Sabi ko, bakit siya kailangan tumakbo sa pader? Pero it's a cool, It's a cool. Medyo na lang ako nun din na kasi parang context ang hinahanap ko Yung tinatawag nilang, I think, in-explain yung mga powers sa isang yung sa E3 EA Play, I think, yung in-explain nila ba why the Jedi, yung tawag na power sa parang it's a middle between a force pull and a force push. Tapos I think I forgot what they're calling it. Pero yung how Kylo Ren stopped a particular beam of blaster. So kaya niyang gawin 'yun, 'di ba? So kaya mong gawin 'yan. So parang sabi ko, wait lang, context, paano mo natutunan 'yan? Kasi isa lang naman ang gumawa niyan talaga sa lahat ng Star Wars Cinematic Universe, 'di ba? Si Kylo Ren lang. So wala pang ibang nakakapigil ng blaster. Kahit si Darth Vader hindi niya pa nagagawa. Ginagamit niya yung lightsaber niya pang deflect. Diba? Pero siya pa lang talaga yung nakakapigil and all that. Kaya ngayon nakakatuwa nga kasi parang, diba, on the movies, it's like Kylo Ren is like, he can stop a blaster. Diba? Pero his Deminor is like weak. Diba? Yung parang hindi talaga siya ganun kalakas. So parang, doon lang ako na-disappoint doon sa Star Wars. Pero anyway, yun nga, who was this that was in the movie? That was in the movie dun sa yung Star Wars, yung Rogue.
Rogue One? Yung Rogue One?
Oh, yung Rogue One, he was there, di ba? Si Forrest Whitaker.
Si Saw Gerrera.
Yeah, he was there, di ba? So parang sabi ko, okay, so after first trilogy to, and probably before A New Hope again. Kasi they're struggling to fight the parang resistance na naman sila. 'Di ba? And there's still no Rebel Alliance talaga, 'di ba?
Wala
so parang resistance pa rin. So yun. So yun nga, I hope it's a good spin sa story and I hope there's a playable woman. Parang Waga token ano lang to, parang isang side lang to, tapos makita natin parang Cyberpunk 2077, di ba? So it's the same na parang we're just seeing the male version of it, pero there's also a female version of it because I think I'll play the female one. Parang ang taba kasi ng Jedi. Wala lang, parang ang bulky na itsura, tapos bland ang mukha niya. I mean, it's the same feeling. When I saw sa teaser talaga, he looks great. It was like, uy, okay to. Para siyang bata lang talaga. Para siyang boy lang talaga. Tapos, pagdating doon sa gameplay, parang like, parang yung X-Men, parang yung X-Men, X-Men. Parang yung Marvel Avengers na nirelease nila. Parang ganun yung mga mukha. Di ba parang, ha? Sabi ko, hindi mo sinunod yung MCU, hindi mo rin sinunod yung comic look. Tapos gumawa ka ng sarili mo, tapos nakita mo na kagad pag-announce nila, this is our own interpretation of the... Really? Fucking fake hair and shit.
Hindi kaya yan? It's a rights issue.
I don't think they have Marvel on board.
Hindi, kasi, well, yeah, yung image, yung mukha kasi ng actor, baka may yun eh.
Yeah, I get that. But you can always take it from the comics. How did Captain America look sa comics? How did ganyan? Pero you were trying to imitate the MCU as best you can. And that's what you get.
Speaking
some D-list actor. Parang yung
may nakita akong comment na bakit nakasuot ng hockey armor itong si Captain America.
Captain America. Ano yan? Parang sa Batman. I don't wear hockey armor. Di ba? Pero nakakatawa lang talaga. Nakakaawa lang yun. Kasi, ito honestly no, except for like Spider-Man, yung mga one-off, yung mga single superhero games. Pero yung group talaga, hindi siya talaga work. Wala pa akong nakikitang Marvel na kumikita talaga ng todo except Spider-Man.
As a game?
As a game. Parang Batman and Spider-Man lang talaga yung kumikita. As an X-Men, have you seen an X-Men X-Men game that took off, that like beat like Skyrim or whatever? Wala, di ba? Parang ganun ka-blockbuster. Parang
yung sa X-Men sa arcade, yung side-scroller at saka yung fighting.
Oo. Tama. Yun lang talaga, yung parang wala ka talaga makikita na kumita. Yun nga, yung fighting games nila is great, di ba? Pero that's like, that's not really the lore, di ba? Parang gumawa lang kayo ng separate tour kasi gusto nyo maglaban sila ng Capcom o ng Street Fighter. Diba? Parang sabi ko, okay. Gets ko yan. Pero yun nga, wala masyadong EA ngayon, Wala masyado, Puro old legacy line. I think they're not their 2020 sports series, which I know what's gonna happen again, di ba? Parang, alam mo na yung mangyayari doon alam mo na yung mga cards na naman yung mga doon money, di ba? Oo. Tapos ano pa ba? Wala, Apex Legends Season 2 was like, this is all Respawn anyway. It just so happens that EA is the publisher, but they don't have any hand in the developing or whatnot. Pero yun, ano pa ba? Gusto mo Bethesda, oo. Anong surprising ba sa Bethesda? I think there is not much except yung one Japanese game. I think it's Ghostwire. Yeah, Ghostwire Tokyo. I think maganda tong game na to because I've been looking forward to a certain franchise that would be coming out. Sana parang ibalik siya sa sirkulasyon. Kasi nagkaroon siya ng tatlong parts pero nawala na lang siya basta. Yung genre na to na horror tapos I think shooting in RPG and all that. Nawala na talaga yan sa planet. I'm talking about
mga Resident Evil, ganun?
No, not Resident Evil. Resident Evil, it's its own, it's its own mode. I think it's Fear. I
Okay.
think the game is Fear. Yeah. So gusto ko yung genre na yon na I'm feeling that no matter how much I love shooting games, is the feeling that my guns will not work to ghosts.
Okay.
Sobrang nakakatakot kaya yon. Yung Fear, yung First Encounter Assault Recon, oh my God. Grabe yung games. Yung ano na yon, yung series na yon, Fear 2, Fear 3. Kasi yung kalaban nila doon is parang Sadako eh.
Talaga?
Oo, para siyang psychic na na pinag-eksperimentohan na bata. Tapos ang nakakatawa doon habang Fear 2, parang yung Fear 1 sobrang bata pa siya, Fear 2 medyo malaki na siya, Fear 3 parang dalaga na siya in all that. So parang tas kilala ka niya. So alam mo yon, sa'yo lang siya nagpapakita. So parang oh my God. Pero all ano yun, the entire time you're fighting bad guys kasi you're sundalo ka, so you're being put into missions and all that, trying to investigate things. Tapos the government is trying to capture this entity para lang doon. Parang eksperimentohan and because of her psychic powers and everything. Pero alam mo yun, sobrang, your guns won't work. Pero you still try. So yung feeling na yun, so parang alam mo yun, kung ganun nga yung Doom eh. Kaso hindi, Doom is like, my bullets will work on your heads. Diba? So, it's dispatching as many demons as possible. Pero kung ganun yung ng Doom, nakakatakot yung Doom. Magiging horror siya. Kasi, I mean, you're shooting demons. Tinatablan ba ng bala ang demons on normal, di ba? Media interpretations of them, di ba? Hindi. So parang tinatawanan lang ng mga demons yung bala mo. So parang ganun. Yung feeling na yun na parang, bakit ba to naging shooter? Hindi naman gumagana yung bala ko. So alam mo yun, tatakbo ko na lang. So yun yung feeling, yun yung maganda kasi yung magandang games na you're being found helpless. Katulad ng mga Hideo Kojima games. Metal Gear. Metal Gear 5 is like, I mean, now they're also dishing it out on Death Stranding. That there will be boss battles or entities that the only thing that you're gonna do is run. Diba? The only thing wala, hindi naman sila tinatabla, hindi naman sa Metal Gear parang Metal Gear 5, Metal Gear Solid 5, the first parang supernatural enemies that you of course yung the man on fire or whatever, tsaka yung parang lumulutang na boy. Pero the other one is like yung parang genetically modified na parang mga specters or whatnot. Tapos they run fast. They can parang they run faster than you or even any vehicle. So parang paano ko so the only thing is get on the horse, run until umalis ka doon sa field of nila kasi parang certain area lang yung kaya nilang puntahan. So parang tumakbo ng todo. So parang yung helplessness na yun, kaya kumikita yung mga games na gano'n kasi parang wala kang magagawa dyan. Huwag mo nang labanan, di ba? Kasi siyempre, as a gamer, parang, hindi, di ba ganun talaga tayo? Kailangan natin labanan yung... Hindi, takbo. Yun yung maganda dun eh. Also, yun, Doom Eternal is coming out on Bethesda, which is a good take on the Doom kasi before it's only demons. Now, we know that heaven is also involved and they're saying, yung parang sa trailers, they're saying parang, you can't stop this and you shouldn't stop this because it's the demon's turn for I don't know what they're parang turn nila para mag-wreak ng hawak sa mundo. So parang sabi ko, wow, para siyang yung isang series na parang Four Horsemen and all that. So parang sabi ko, ganda talaga pag Judeo-Christian yung yung mga background, tapos yung take nila si Judeo-Christian Lord. Ang ganda talaga. Parang Diablo, di ba? Ang ganda. May heaven and hell. Pero sarili lang take. Di ba? Mm-hmm. So, Fallout 76, Nuclear Winter. Meron na naman silang labas.
Parang lang.
Pero pinagmamalaki nila, di ba? Parang, yes, the NPCs are back. Yung parang, dude, you should have released that one.
Sumabog na yung Granada.
Diba? Because that's what everyone is expecting. You didn't announce it when you announced it on your E3 last time, diba? Parang hindi nyo sinabi na ganito pala, diba? Pero dapat talaga nilabas nila. Sinabi nila, hindi, walang NPC dyan. Kayo lang. You are the NPC. The player is the NPC. Di sana nag-roleplay yung mga tao doon, di ba? Sayang. Wolfenstein Youngblood, yung ongoing series ng Wolfenstein, which is great. Yung anak naman ni Blazkowicz ang bida. Ano pa ba? Meron din yung Commander Keen pero Cyberpunk is this under CD Projekt Red, diba? So Cyberpunk mamaya na si Cyberpunk kasi medyo malaking pasabog. So Final Fantasy 7, the Square Enix Final Fantasy 7 remake. We saw gameplay which is surprising kasi parang it's a mix of the old parang menu tapos action oriented using your sticks, your control sticks. So nakakatuwa siya kasi parang hindi ka pwedeng pag mag-switch ka sa susunod na player parang gamitin pling pling pling. Nakakatuwa lang. Pero yun nga, I mean, I'm excited for it to come out. Final Fantasy 8 has a remastered version now. Yun.
Next year bang lalabas yan?
I think so. Ewan ko kung ilang CD yan. Joke. Kasi sa PlayStation ang daming CD. Kasi CD lang na dati. Hindi naman DVD yun, di ba? PlayStation 1. So, ayun. I think it's if it's a remastered version, sana remastered talaga. I don't like the menu of Final Fantasy 7 and Final Fantasy. Yung gameplay walking through a screenshot. I don't like that. Because I like this new version. Tsaka Final Fantasy 7 Remake, I think, in my opinion, I think they made it and they made a remake because they made several media productions of the series. Meron kang movie na ganun yung itsura nila Cloud, pero you have a game that has cartoons. Diba? Why not just make cartoons sana? Pero yun. Tapos gumawa pa sila ng isang game before everything else is they made a game called Crisis Core. And Crisis Core features cutscenes that how the other characters really looked. Na CGI talaga siya na parang movie. So parang ang ganda nila tignan, bakit hindi nagiging game yan? So I think they just continued that para maging relevant yung mga ginawa nila yan. Kasi sayang pera eh. Diba? And if you have Final Fantasy 7, you can now watch those. Why? Because it makes sense. Diba? Now it makes sense. Because yung parang continuation ng itsura ng mga characters. So, okay lang, okay talaga, okay siya. And I think it's a good. Pero for me, it's nothing new. I don't think the story will change or anything like that. It's just playing it on a different media. Like playing it on, yun lang talaga siya. And yung hype dyan magda-die down pag lumabas na yan kagad. Kasi wala na, natapos ko na to eh. I'm just remembering it eh. Yun lang naman talaga siya. Yun lang yung hook niya kung bakit bibili ng mga tao eh. Otherwise, siguro, pa-experience mo sa anak mo yung bago, di ba? Parang ganun. Nung bata ako, yan nilalaro ko. Yan, laruin mo na. Di ba? Pero ano pa ba? There's another Mana collection, Trials of Mana, collection of Mana coming to Switch. So, yung Secret of Mana series, nung duhay pa pala. Ano pa ba? Ang inaantay ko lang sa kanila talaga yung Vagrant Story ng Square Enix. Gusto ko talaga lumabas yun eh.
Ano na mabalita doon?
Wala yata eh. I don't think they're making it. I don't think anyone is making it. Vagrant Story is one hell of a system that they've used. Kasi it focuses on the old RPG mechanics plus what do you call this? The timed one? Yung you have to press X on a particular Cutscene. Anong tawag doon?
Yung kalimutan ko. Pero yung yung sa Telltale.
Parang ganon. So, it mixes both of those. Ibig sabihin, when you do that on a specific action, it increases your combo. So, kasama siya as a gameplay mechanic. So, maganda talaga. Kasi parang, kung lazy ka lang na, attack, attack lang siya. And you'll get more. Pero if you time it right, pero hindi niya sinasabing, press X on this. Hindi. Talagang, meron lang siyang parang single, ching! Tapos you press it there, may execute niya. So talaga may skill din siya na involved bukod sa min-maxing. So parang nakakatawa yung game na yon. Gusto ko lang siya lumabas ulit, even with the same mechanics and probably something new. Kaya lang I don't think they have the energy for it. Kasi nga they're making so many money-making schemes na parang Final Fantasy, kahit anong Final Fantasy, kakainin ng tao kagad, di ba? May pre-order ka kagad eh. So, yun nga. Ano pa ba? Let's talk about kanina naglabas na tayo ng Ubisoft. Ano pa ba sa Ubisoft? Ayun, isa lang naman talaga yung game talaga na nag-caught ng attention ko is yung Watch Dogs Legion. I think
hindi ko masyado maintindihan yung sinabi nila doon.
Ano, about what?
Yung you can play all of the NPCs? Tama ba yung pagkaintindi ko?
You can play all of the NPCs. I think hindi. Let's look at it this way. Have you played yung MGS5? Yung Metal Gear Solid 5?
Hindi.
Okay. So it plays a little bit with Metal Gear Solid 5 and XCOM. So XCOM, we already know that you have a roster of soldiers, diba? So it also applies there. And they took something from Metal Gear Solid 5 also. I'm not saying that they really took it, pero I think it's a good comparison. Is that all of the soldiers in the game in Metal Gear Solid 5, you can oh my god, I forgot the term that they use. Pero you can parachute it up towards your mother base. So parang may mother base, baka may mother base din dito or something that you can do yung mga customized ganyan. So you can recruit them. Kumbaga, you can recruit them based on their stats. Ibig sabihin, do you need this type of soldier? Kasi makikita mo yung stats din nila eh. Pag nakita mo na magaling siya sa shooting, kailangan ko ng ganyan. So they've already said na merong at least 3 classes. I think there are other classes there, but I think there's enforcer, there's a hacker, then there's an infiltrator. So based on those stats, ano ba yung mas need mo? Ano ba yung nagkukulang ka? Ganyan. So that's where the XCOM part plays. Yung hatak niya na parang nauubusan na ako ng enforcers. Diba? Kasi they're dying and all that. So I need more. Diba? Tapos may i-level up mo yung isa tapos malulungkot ka lang kasi mamamatay. Diba? So, diba? So, I mean, it plays on that. I'm just not kasi with those systems in place, I don't think it's gonna be a big open world map.
So, ano na siya? Parang squad-based na
Squad-based, pero I think one by one you can control. I hope that you can control them. I mean, ibig sabihin yung what I'm saying is parang team kayo pumunta doon, tapos isa-isa mo siyang gagamitin. So, parang siyang yung old Commando game. I don't know if you played that.
Yeah. Nalaro ko siya.
So, gusto ko, I mean, if all of those elements come together, this is gonna be a hit. Automatic, this is gonna be a hit. Kasi sobrang strategic ng game na yan kung lalabas. Oh my God. Kasi you're playing, like, you're using them as pawns eh. Plus, they have their own specialties, ganyan. Yung isa, papwesto dito, mag-hack. Di ba parang sa Commando din, yung parang may isa dito, may sniper, yung isa ganyan. So, alam mo yun? So, oh my God. Ang ganda ng game na to. Pero hindi naman natin nakita yun doon sa gameplay na pinakita nila. Medyo kakatawa na lang kasi parang ang number 1 seller nila is you can play an old lady. Diba? So, ang caveat nila or ang tagline nila is you can play anyone. So, parang syempre, if you can play an old lady, you can play anyone. Diba? But can you play a kid? Di ba? That's the ultimate spy infiltrator. Bata. Di ba? Parang babaeng little girl na may lollipop pang ganyan tapos marunong mang-hack. Di ba? Mas astig yun. Mas astig kaya yun, di ba? So, pero yun nga. That's Watch Dogs Legion. So I'm surprised. I think it's gonna release. It's gonna release next year, and we're gonna hear more about it because I mean Ubisoft has a solid marketing team, and they don't really they don't have like a silent period. Kumpara sa ibang developers, they don't have a silent period. They just talk about so much of their games. Even if it fails or not, they're still talking about their games. So, yun. Pero I mean, there's another one is like Roller Champions. I think the demo is gonna expire today. Pero it's some are saying that it's a human version of what was that game? I forgot that. Do you have that game? Yung you guys are cars and you guys like play football.
Rocket League.
Oh, Rocket League. I think it's a human version of Rocket League, pero it's more of team-based because if you're human, maliit lang siya, di ba? So you can put so many players in there. So yun din. Okay rin yun, nakakatuwa kasi ngayon lang ulit ako nakakita ng rollerblade game or rollerblade anything for so long. Di ba? Kasi parang noong 80s, I would switch the channel. I would switch the channel and there was like a roller derby or something like that going on. Diba? So parang ginagawa namin yun paglabas ng recess. Roller derby, banggaan. Labas sa pinto. Kahit wala kaming roller skates. Pero nakakatawa. I mean, it's good. It's a good game. I hope it's addicting enough. Kasi pag ganito kasi yung mga game, yung mga parang you already know the entire premise of the game. People are gonna get bored easily kasi kahon na kahon yung gameplay Parang, yun lang Mag-i-skate kayo, i-score kayo. What else is there?
Yun doon na yung kung ano yung what else.
Oo, yun yung problema kasi sa mga, it's a good idea and it's an original idea except for Rocket League. Pero what I'm saying is parang, what else is there? Diba? Ano pa ba yung maganda? Siguro maganda yung mga streaming mo dyan, maganda yung mga highlights mo magagawa mo dyan. That's, I think, that what they should focus on because it's gonna be cool to look at when you're trying to post it on social media or whatnot. Pero yung otherwise, that's it. That's the game. That's the entirety of it. Kasi wala siyang surprise factor, wala siyang kahit ano. It's just a sports game, man. So yun. I forgot this game, Gods and Monsters. Oh yeah, Gods and Monsters is like a Legend of Zelda. Iteration from the creators of Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Greek mythology and all that. I think it looks good. It reminds me of like yung parang Konami game, yung parang Kid Icarus. Parang ganun yun. Parang ganun siya yung mga although I didn't see wings on the main character, pero nakakatuwa siya kasi parang at least may version kami ng Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild na hindi kami bibili Switch. Di ba? Kasi this is coming out on all platforms. So, ano yun? I hope it does good. I hope they do good. So yun. Ano pa ba? Ano pa magaganda? The rest is like simple lang naman for those who have no Dauntless, I think it's a free game from the Epic Games Store. It's coming to Nintendo Switch via Phoenix Labs. The only problem with Dauntless right now is the queue is so long kasi siya crossplay siya Pero it's like the free version of Monster Hunters. And it's using Unreal Engine.
So walang unique about that?
Dauntless is, wala masyadong unique. Parang ano lang siya, para siyang clone ng Monster Hunters. With a different take on it. Pero that's basically that. So para lang siyang League of Legends versus Dota 2. Pero it's free. It's free. That's the only caveat that he has. It's free. So now it's coming to Nintendo Switch. So yun. Dying Light 2 is coming out. Yun yung isa sa magagandang games and all that. So if you guys don't know what Dying Light is a first person parkour / zombie game. And right now I think the trailer announced that he's also infected. So he might have special powers now. I don't know. It's probably just adding to the tech tree or to the skill tree pala. Tech tree pala sa mga ano yan, Forex. Maka PC talaga yun. Ano pa ba? Marami kasi mga, what do you call this, mga interesting games, pero mostly kasi mga ano sila, yung mga parang mga indie, di ba? Ano pa ba ang other than Halo Infinite is coming out, pero wala tayong gameplay, kung di ano lang siya, cinematic trailer lang of what is to come. I think the only awesome thing to look at there is that it was the screen capture, the trailer was actually made using the new using the new engine of Xbox Project Scarlet, which is the new console that Xbox is coming out with, which is, I think, really powerful. If they're promising 8K or whatnot, man, let's see.
So Project Scarlet is yung hardware.
That's what they're calling the new Xbox for now. Kasi it will change. Okay. It will change once they release it. Kasi parang I forgot what the Xbox project was last time that they announced before Xbox One X was announced. So
hindi ito yung sinasabi nilang ko-compete sa Stadia ng Google. Hindi ito yun.
Hindi. Ang mahirap kasi sa Stadia is ano ba? Well, Stadia is the future. And streaming games is the future. When I went to I think these guys are from The Geeks. I think it's a review page or whatnot from when I went to, what do I call this, to Bayani launch. Yeah, we talked about that, what the E3 and everything. Parang chika-chika lang among gamer journalists and everything. So parang what do you think about Stadia? What do you think about the future of gaming? Kasi ako, in my opinion, I've said it before here on the podcast that the future of gaming is streaming. There are what do you call this, factors that you would need to actually make that work. But once it works, that's the future of gaming. Why do I say that? Because it alleviates you from buying every single piece of game. There are times, I mean, let's be honest, there are times that you actually pay what, $60 or what, $2.5 mga ganyan. Sometimes mga PS4 is like 3,000 per piece. And then you barely touch the game. You barely touch the game. Why? Because you listen to reviews, you didn't like the gameplay yourself, you didn't finish it. You wasted money. Pero how much are you paying per year for, let's calculate it, diba? Parang $10. Sabihin natin, $10 a year, diba? So magkano lang yun? $10 a year. 10 times 12 is like what? So $120 for an entire year. So what did you lose there for $9.99? You didn't lose anything. You're still playing all of these games. I just hope that you can play the entire game, or the entirety of the game. by just playing. Ayoko yung demo version. Ayoko yung may paywall kasi it's a joke. This entire system will fail without that. Pero if you can let me play a game for $9.99 for an entire month, even for just $10, I can play all the games I want. How long does a game last anyway? Kung as heavy as Skyrim there, that's like 300 hours. How long is that for an entire month? Diba? Oh, so that's like saving you a lot of money versus playing a game for like paying full price for a game and then playing it for like a week or even 3 days. Tapos mo na yung game and there's nothing to offer. It's over. Diba? Pero kung naka $9.90, you can just leave that there. Okay, that's done. I didn't pay $60 for that. I just paid a portion of $9 because I'm still playing these other games. Now you can collect games. Now you can have ganon. Pero if you're a collector, there's still collector's edition pa rin. There's still people out there who still want to own games. Then own a game. Diba? Pero don't stop the others who couldn't pay $60 for a full game when they have work, they have ganyan. They're almost casual gamers, not because they choose to be, but because they have other priorities. Pero they want to play games. Why are you being elitist and removing that right from them? Diba? Gusto mong patry yung kapitbahay mo ng let's say Skyrim. Oh, maglaro ka ng Skyrim, maganda 'yon. Kasi alam mo, nagtatanong na yung friend mo parang, "Uy, bibili ako ng PC, gaming PC. Ano kayo magandang game na start na bilhin, no?" Siyempre sabihin mo, "Uy, maganda yung Skyrim. Uy, maganda yung The Witcher 3." Eh pagbili niya, hindi niya pala type 'yon. So nagsayang siya ng pera.
Oo.
'Di ba? Pero kung nagbayad siya ng $9.99, regardless what it is, let's say that yung Game Pass, yung what do you call this? The game Xbox streaming service. Because it's going to be available for PC. Or Stadia or whatnot. Diba? Diba? So yun yung palaroin mo sila. Diba? Kasi, ang akin kasi exclusivity is bullshit eh. Diba? I mean, Epic Games is learning the hardship of exclusivity. You will have backlash. Pero I never heard these backlashers or these complainers about Epic Games when they're talking about PS4 or Sony or Xbox exclusivity, diba? I should be able to play Halo wherever, regardless of what system I own, diba? That's because let the game stand for itself, diba? Bakit mo kailangan? Kasi nga, sa akin, hindi. Worth it naman eh. Worth it naman bumili ng PS4. Worth it naman bumili ng ano. Yes, I understand that and I agree totally. Pero if I just want to play The Last of Us Part 2, I just want to play that. I don't want to play anything else on PS4's lineup. I have to pay how much? $550 or $560 just to play one game? You're kidding me, right? Diba? So I have to find, kasi ngayon nga di ba, hindi na importante yung, ano ka sa kaibigan mo, really? Now, this time and age, you have to look for a friend who has PS4 and has, is it really that easy now? Di ba? Siyempre gusto mo sa bahay ka lang on your own time and everything. So, yun yung sa akin, it's the future. Ang magiging problema, yun nga yung factors that would come into play is like how much bandwidth are they gonna ask? Is it okay? Is it the same as having the same bandwidth while I'm watching in Netflix? Will they? Kumbaga parang ang bandwidth lang siyempre sa Pilipinas. Let's say example natin parang 3 Mbps lang yung internet niya. Mabilis naman yun, makaka-load naman ng YouTube videos yun without stopping or whatnot, di ba? Unless sobrang dami niya sa bahay. Pero if you're the only one watching, the 3 Mbps is okay. So, is that okay to actually play games? Or am I playing on lower settings? Diba? As my bandwidth goes up, what is the threshold for like 4K gaming? Diba? So, yun lang yung mga questions ko pagdating dyan sa ganyan. And also, kasi magkakatipiran dito sa game lineup eh.
Less games but hopefully quality pa.
Yun nga. I mean, Google may have presented a good parang foot on the future, and they've already seen it when they saw Xbox Game Pass or whatnot. Origin Premiere, di ba? Ganun din siya eh. Although focus lang sa kasi Origin Premiere sa mga Origin games lang, mga EA games lang. So yun yung nakikita nila lang, what if we can be the one for be the overall gaming list, makukuha natin lahat. Di mas maganda, di ba? Pero yun nga yung dun eh. What are your lineups? What will hopefully submit to your platform, whatnot. Kasi lalabas yung bagong platform talaga yan, Stadia. Diba? So, yun lang. I hope they have good lineup. I don't want to see old games there. Kasi yun yung magiging initial lalabas dyan. Yung lineup niyan, kahit mga 100 lineup niyan. Puro old games. May Skyrim dyan. Yung mga pinagsawaan na ng mga developer, gusto lang nila kumita ulit ng pera. So parang, yan na yung lalabas. Automatic yan ang lalabas dyan, kapatid. May Divinity 2 dyan. Yung mga tapos na sila The Witcher 3, lalabas yan dun. Kasi wala na eh. They're done. The developers are done marketing that game. They're selling it at lower price now. You know how much The Witcher 3 is now? It's like $500, man, for the entire series. 500 pesos on Steam. I was like, ganyan na siya kababa from full price of $60. So, magkano na lang siya ngayon? $10 yata. $10 na lang. So, ganun siya kababa ngayon. Yan din ang gagawin nila sa Stadia. Kunin niyo tong mga games na to. Kunin niyo tong mga games na to. Wala na. Kumbaga, nung panahon natin, abandonware tawag dyan, di ba? Libre na yan eh. Di ba? Libre na yan eh. Kahit downloadin mo yan sa internet, di ka na pagagalitan yan. Hindi ka na pirate ang tawag niya. Kasi wala na, abandonware eh.
Kasi wala na yung kumpanya.
Wala na yung kumpanya, di ba? Abandonware yan eh. Wala na available. Kuha ng paycheck para dyan. Di ba? So, yun na yun. Pero ngayon kasi iba na. Kasi ngayon, even if you go back, 10, 15 years, the games, they're still good. We still have good games from 2003 or 2004. Di ba? Parang, magaganda pa yung games na yan. So, talagang pagkakita. Pero how far back are gamers looking? Like 5 years, di ba? 5, 6 years, 10 years? 2010, 2011 is the greatest gaming year of all time for now. I mean, in my opinion. Di ba? Walang tatalo pa rin doon. Pero yun nga, ilang taon lang yan. 8 years lang yan, di ba? So, lahat yan, lahat ng lineup na yan pupunta doon. Pero yun, okay lang yun. $9.99 to old, parang Netflix, watching old movies, it's okay lang, di ba? Wala namang issue.
Yung Netflix subscription,
yung mga luma, manonood ka ng mga luma eh. Yeah. Walang issue, di ba? Kasi you just want the option to actually watch those on clear. Hindi ka na magda-download sa internet or magpa-pirate ka pa sa mga torrent or whatnot. Di ba? Gusto mo siyang panoorin nagbabayad naman ako so panoorin mo ako. So, ganyan din ang gusto ko. Ganyan din ang gusto kong mangyari. Di ba? Number 1, yun nga yung speed. Number 2 is, yung mga lineups nyo. Number 3, will the lineups go away a certain period of time? Hindi ko na ba siya
sa Netflix?
Oo, kasi syempre naglalaro ka Paano kung yung mga too late the hero ka na parang, ngayon ko lang. Katulad mo, Final Fantasy 7 or Final Fantasy series, gusto mong laruin online. Ngayon mo lang siya nalaro. Tapos, lang siya, available lang siya for like 90 days. Tapos, hindi mo nalalaro yung iba kasi wala na. Kung isa pa in the middle of your game na parang ganyan, hindi mo na natapos. Kasi tapos na yung period. Sana walang ganon. Although, expected ko na may ganon kasi nga, di ba?
Pero it's siguro Netflix style na I'm sure meron silang parang algorithm sa back end na kung wala na masyadong naglalaro nito, might as well take it down.
Actually, yung mga magsa-search ka lang sa sinasama nila sa algorithm yan. Mag-search ka sa Netflix kasi ilang beses na nangyari sa akin yun Search ako sa Netflix, wala. After mga 2 months, nandun na. So parang sabi ko, ay, tinitake into account nila yung mga searches. So sabi ko, okay to
Meron din silang yung mag-suggest ka.
Oo nga.
Nilalagay ko dun lahat ng gusto ko.
Back to tayo, E3? Usama natin. Ano pa ba? Sige, pag-usapan na natin ang Cyberpunk 2077. Yon. So, Cyberpunk 2077, Cyberpunk 2077, aka John Wick 4. John Wick 77, mga ganyan. So, yon. Para sa hindi pa nakakapanood, so lumabas si Keanu Reeves. All of a sudden sa Cyberpunk 2077 E3 reveal. Kung saan hindi naman, I mean, they didn't show any gameplay of Cyberpunk now. I think they showed it on closed doors. Pero yun talaga yung magandang reveal. Ulat na. Johnny Silverhand ang pangalan niya. So, Johnny
lahat ng pangalan niya, John.
Mukha siyang John
Lahat ata ng role niya, John, yung pangalan.
Oo. Hindi John, pwede siya sa Jack. Jack din si John, diba? Alam mo ba yun? Ang palayaw ng mga John is Jack. So any character that has a Jack, unless they're really named Jack, parang sinulat sa birth certificate nila Jack, they're initially John. That's the Kasi pag yung mga Johnny, pang mga mga pang yan Italiano yung mga Johnny, 'di ba? Mikey, 'di ba? So, yan Pero yung kapag bata ka tawag si Johnny, pero yung talagang dyan si Jack talaga. Yun. Parang 'di ba, parang Charles is Chuck. Yun. So, yun yung mga palayaw talaga ng mga yan. Parang sa atin, 'di ba, may pangalan tapos biglang Bong, hindi naman natin alam kung saan ang galing. 'Di ba? Hindi naman kasing unpredictable ng Pilipino yun. Mga alam mo yan. Diba? So parang William is Bill, diba? Yung
lahat tayo may Tito Boy.
Oo nga. Tito Boy, Tita Baby. Tita Baby, si Kuya Jun. Ayun. So, yun nga. Cyberpunk 2077. Ganda ng trailer. I think, I don't think they didn't confirm it, pero it's probably one of the scenarios that you could end up with where you're killing your companion. Kasi pinakita doon na namatay yung companion mo. Pero I think it's just one of the outcomes. Kasi nga, there are several, parang sinasabi nila, a mission can go several ways. You can even go without killing anyone.
Oo nga, nakita ko yun.
So maganda siya kasi normal yun normal na gagawin talaga ng CD Projekt Red yun kasi nga RPG talaga sila magaling I mean, we've seen it in The Witcher 3 and how is it and there are several ways may branching dialogues you can approach missions sabihin hindi mo pwedeng kahit hindi mo kunin yung mission tapos accidental mo lang siya nakita on your travels. Babalik ka lang dun sa tao na nag-post tapos wala na, resolved na siya. Kumbaga hindi mo na siya kailangan kausapin initially tapos gagawin mo yung mission tapos kakausapin mo siya para makuha yung reward mo. Parang kung nakita mo siya aksidente sa kalye tapos na-resolve mo na kagad siya, yun. Pwedeng kasama sa dialogue na parang sasabihin lang sa'yo dun sa mission yung objectives list mo, sasabihin lang sa'yo pumunta ka dun sa board para kausapin ng tao na to. Okay, so pagkausap mo doon sa tao na to, sabi niya, kasi ulitin niya yung mission, sabi niya, may pinapahanap kasi akong ganito, parang ring, ganyan. Tapos kasama na sa dialogue mo, sabi niya, ito bang ring na to? Then sabi niya, thank you, tapos na. So, ganun sila, magaling sila sa quest detail, tsaka, I mean, they've already admitted it on a no-clip on YouTube, or no-clip documentary on how they made the quests, and they really make sure na nagme-make sense siya. Nagme-make sense siya in terms na parang hindi yung mga overbranching tsaka pwedeng mangyari. Kasi nga unpredictable ang mga players, di ba? So, tinitingnan nila lahat ng scenario na pwedeng gawin ng mga players para mag-work lang to. Kasi minsan parang may mga, halimbawa, itong particular door na to, mag-i-exist lang to pag yung quest nandun. And, may lalabas na tao dyan, you can enter the room and everything. Pero after ng quest mo, hindi mo na pwedeng i-enter yan, nakalock na yan palagi. So, yun yung ine-expect ko. Kasi minsan, wala, alam mo, pinatay mo yung tao na yun, paano mo nakukuha yung quest?
Correct.
O may kamag-anak pa siya or may magpo-post pa para sa kanya. Parang ganon. Ganon sila ka-detailed gumawa ng quest lines and everything like that. So, umaga parang siguro somebody worked for like WoW before. Kasi nga, di ba? Branching storylines and sunod-sunod. Doon ka talaga matututo sa WoW. Kung sakaling beginner developer kayo, di ba? Kung in charge ka ng quest, yun. So, yun nga. Okay naman siya. I think the response is ganon. Tapos, right now, if you guys want to pre-order, okay na siya for pre-order ngayon. Yun, sobrang mahal lang nung collectors nila. Sobrang mahal lang. Ewan ko nga may CD nga. Sabi ko nga, pwede bang collectors wala CD? Kahit yung stuff na lang. Kasi wala naman akong CD eh. Although, kahit naman may CD kayo, parang CD key lang online, okay na yun eh. Pero yun nga, nakakatawa lang. Ano pa ba? Ano pa ba yung mga pasabog na ano? Kasi merong, after nung E3, may lumabas na parang news na they're questioning the gameplay kasi yung closed doors nga kasi yung demo. Hindi raw maganda yung gameplay. Yung gunplay. Tapos, pero nung nakita ko naman yung initial nila, if they're basing on that, if that was release or whatnot, it's really hard to imagine that it changed to the worse. Kasi the gunplay on yung initial trailer, yung parang 30-minute trailer ba yun? 15-minute trailer. Or gameplay trailer na nilabas nila secretly, di ba? Maganda yung gunplay dun eh. Ang hirap nga, sabi ko, kaya ko ba yan? Kasi parang ang dami mong gagawin. Tapos parang may motion timing. Parang gano'n. May bullet time lang. O di ba? Parang bumabagal lang and everything. So parang sabi ko, paano naging pangit yung gunplay dyan? Di ba? Tapos meron pa isang controversy na parang yung mga ads daw, medyo offensive. Yung parang sinasabi ko, parang, it's not a utopian future that we're talking about. It's a dystopian future. Everything is fucked up. Diba? So, why are they expecting parang makikater pa to dun sa yung mga, sorry for the term, pero yung mga SJWs, diba? Social justice. Parang, it will not, I mean, me being a defender of feminist rights and everything like that, pero I wouldn't expect it on a game like this. This is a dystopian nga, dystopian future nga eh. Fucked up world nga to eh. Diba? Ang game lang dito, cyberpunk lang talaga yung theme. Yun lang. That's futuristic. Yun lang. Pero whatever it is, it's the worst type of diba? Parang, hindi, ba't din nyo question yung capitalist agenda nung game? Diba? Parang, questionin mo yung capitalist agenda nung game, pero wala kang problema sa capitalist, ang gusto mo lang hindi ka ma-offend. Huwag ka nga. Diba? Yung parang, diba? Parang let the game be the game. Kasi, I mean, I'm coming from this because may isa pang problema is yung lumabas din sa E3 is yung bagong game ng Call of Duty Modern Warfare. And it's just being called Call of Duty Modern Warfare right now, but it's the continuation of the series, I guess. Or whatnot. I'm not really sure what the timeline it's covering. Pero they're saying it's alam naman natin ang Call of Duty is realism, di ba? The gunplay is realistic. Well, not so realistic kasi parang mga kenko yung maglaro yung mga tao. Pero, I mean, di ba? Hindi nagja-jam yung mga baril nila. Sobrang accurate. Pero yung realistic in a sense na parang they always aim for realism. The Call of Duty series is always aiming for realism. And then, all of a sudden, I think it's IGN, that's the issue here, that some gaming journalists are saying that it's too realistic. That that some of the storylines are not supposed to be in the game. They're comparing it to what the controversy before. Remember the no Russian scene? in Modern Warfare 2, where you go to an airport. You're an undercover, parang CIA, I guess. Para ba sa undercover ka doon sa main antagonist. Tapos, they just instructed you, remember, no Russian. And then they went to airport, and then they opened fired on the civilians. And as part of the gameplay, you're supposed to kill them, the civilians. And I mean, on a game, I mean, I didn't think much of it because I was playing the narrative. Diba? I'm waiting for, ano ba to? I mean, this is it. I'm gonna kill unarmed civilians, yung mga ganyan. There were people firing at us, pero yung mga security guards lang yan, mga handgun. Kami, naka-MG, ano ko di ba? Ganun yung ginamit mo eh. So parang, ang akin lang, parang, are we on that point na parang we're questioning realism versus art? Diba? Is it too realistic for you that it's bothering you? And then for me, then it did its job because that's what it's all about. It's supposed to make you uncomfortable because that's part of the story. Diba? Diba? Ang tanong dun, what are you gonna do about it? How are you gonna feel on your next mission? Diba? Are you gonna be angry at the antagonist or are you just gonna say, yeah, this is just a game? Ang gulo, diba? So, diba? Ganun yung narrative ngayon ng iba na they're comfortable with it. Sana tanggalin na lang yung part na yun. Why? Diba? I mean, let it stand on its own and let it be judged when it comes out. Diba? I'm sure. Oh, sige.
Ako, it's more of, does it make sense do sa story eh? Kasi
yun
diba,
nga.
May mga iba, they overdo the ibang violence ba? Pero, I mean,
correct.
At some, kung if it makes sense naman sa story, yun talaga yun.
Exactly. Di ba? I mean, yan, tulad yan, naban ako kanina sa ano. Hindi naman ako naban, guys. Hindi ako naban sa
warning.
Hindi, tinanggal nila yung video kasi nga may... Pero kasama sa The Witcher 3 yun eh.
Oo nga.
May nudity talaga doon. And it's not like, I mean, it's a sex scene. I was awkward about it because I couldn't do anything. I wanted to skip the scene. Pero yun nga.
Cutscene siya?
It's a cutscene because, yeah, he chose that quest line eh. I made sure that part is ano. Kasi syempre, if I don't do that, magagalit sa akin yung character na yon. So there may be some quest lines that I could get from further down the story that might need that character. So I have to choose certain quest lines so I'd end up having sex with the character name is Shani. Tapos syempre si Geralt yung protagonist and all that. So para lang maganda yung ending nila. Kasi it doesn't make sense bigla ka magtataray. Tapos ayoko eh. So parang ganon. I mean, Geralt is known for being a parang woman, hindi naman womanizer, pero parang na-attract talaga sa kanya lahat eh. Kasi nga honest siya and all, hindi siya nagsisinungaling. Ganon. So, wala lang siyang emotion kasi lahat ng okay. Ganon lang talaga siya magsalita eh. So,
deadpan.
Hindi, deadpan talaga siya kasi nga, yun eh, kasama yun dun sa parang side effects ng experimentation na ginawa sa kanila. That they should be emotionless because they're gonna kill monsters, di ba? So parang gano'n. Dati sila maawa. Pero yun nga, nakakatawa lang kasi parang tinanggal nila yon sexual nudity, which is I understand. Kasi, I mean, I understand. Sana lang merong parang R18, ganun. Pero I'm gonna remove it. So, anyway, I'm going back to the same issue is that nudity and violence, specific, like, kahit sadya, as long as it makes sense for the story, then it should be there. Because I think, lalo kung vital or critical part siya, katulad ng No Russian, kasi ang ina-explore lang ng scene ng No Russian is how evil and devious, what are the lengths that the antagonist is gonna go to. Kaya sinabing No Russian, meaning nobody is gonna speak Russian, pero they're on a Russian airport. So ibig sabihin, they're just gonna speak in English. Kasi gusto niyang palabasin na yung Americans para ma-enrage, para magkaroon ng gera. Para magkaroon ng ma-enrage siya, pinagbabaril ng mga American terrorists, mukha silang mga military, ganyan-ganyan. Tapos pinagbabaril ng lahat ng di ba? So, it's an outrage.
It makes sense.
It makes sense, di ba? So, you're trying to take out a specific factor on the antagonist's ugali na gusto mo ipakita on screen. Hindi mo pwedeng pakita na parang masama lang iniisip niya or may mga thoughts siya or magpa-flashback or whatever, di ba? Kasi cutscene yun. You want something that the player will participate in, di ba? So, yun yung ginawa nila. And actually, the scene was actually banned in Russia.
I would imagine.
When they released it was banned in Russia. And you can always censor these types of parts depending on the government, diba? On the government. Kasi nga parang what do you call this? What's the game? Wolfenstein. Since it's illegal in Germany to actually show any form of yung mga swastika, Nazi party, anything of the sort in any media. They removed that. Pagdating sa German version.
Okay.
They removed that. Any inclination in the story, you have to revoice it so that hindi nagmumukhang Nazi sila. Si Hitler doesn't have a mustache.
Talaga? Hindi ko alam yun na.
They know that it's Hitler, pero it doesn't have a mustache. So, walang iconography. So, tinanggal talaga nila yung German. Makikita mo yung sa YouTube, merong German version of ganyan-ganyan. So, yung mukha lang ni Hitler, mukha lang siyang matanda. Pareho yung buhok, pareho yung pero wala siyang mustache. So, parang, okay. Diba? I think, I'm not really sure if they still refer to him as the Führer or whatnot. Pero they removed all types of ganyan. Wala siyang kahit anong tungkol sa ano. So yun. The entire game was all about killing Nazis. Diba? Pero they still did it for Germany. Why? Diba? Kasi syempre, meron German fans. They just don't want the German people to be okay with the idea of Nazism in a game. Ayaw nilang ma-normalize ang Nazism. Or
yun yung, I think, the right word. Ayaw ma-normalize.
Yun nga. Pero, I mean, if you're a developer or you're in charge, you're director of story or whatnot, don't you think you already know that from the start? Di ka naman siguro, tayo na kung sino ka lang kanto dyan, di ba? Isang kanto ka lang, lupalop ka lang ng galing, tapos meron ka ng video game idea. Pumunta ka na lang sa isang developer studio, ikaw na lang nagsulat. Wala namang ganun eh. You're an educated person. And you still have to answer to some people. So, pag nag-cringe yung mga boss mo, di back to the drawing board, di ba? Di ba? Hindi naman lahat ng mga writers silver tongue na parang na-convince nila lahat Hindi, kailangan talaga sa story to Hindi siya nagme-make sense. Hindi rin eh. Ang daming iterations yan bago mag-end up, di ba? Para bago nila lahat masabi na parang kailangan sa story to. Di ba? Ang problema kasi nila, it's so beautiful, it's so realistic, it's so ganyan. So parang yung particular scene, they didn't really specify what. Or I haven't read it. Kung merong man nagsulat na ano yung specific part na yun, gusto nilang matanggal. Or bawal nilang sabihin. Pero yun nga, gusto nilang matanggal yun kasi daw parang walang sense. Kasi parang cringy daw yung part na yun, so tanggalin na lang. So parang, baka ikaw lang. Do you really represent all gamers? Or is it just your opinion? Diba? May opinion pieces naman pero if you're trying to report on a game, then it shouldn't be like that. You should just let the gamers decide if they want that particular scene or not. Diba? Or worst case scenario, hindi mag-introduce ka ng option na to remove yung mga ganong klase doon sa game bago mag-start yung game, di ba? Yung mga ganon naman eh. So yun, saan ba tayo? Wasteland 3 pare. Hindi. Nalos na pala yun. Ano pa ba? No more heroes.
Yung mini console, Sega Genesis.
Mini console, meron ba? Hindi ko nakita yun
Sega Genesis.
Sega Genesis. I think I've seen that. Ano yung mga games included? You've seen it?
Ang nakalista lang dito Mega Man, Earthworm Jim, Sonic, syempre.
Ano ba yan? Puro naman. Ano ba?
Syempre, nung panahon lumabas yung Genesis, yun, yung mga game na yun.
Golden Axe, diba? Dapat yun yung mga
nilalaro. Ay, oo.
No, Golden Axe. Yun ang nilalaro ko lang talaga sa Sega. Tsaka yung boxing nila, may boxing sila Yun yung unang-unang boxing talaga 16-bit. Sabi ko, ang ganda na itong boxing na to. Hindi siya kengkoy. Tunay na may mga muscle talaga nagsusuntukan. Cartoony, pero ano yun? Gustong-gusto ko. Tapos, ano ba? Battletoads is coming out, man. Blair Witch. No, Battletoads. Nagulat lang ako kasi parang, Battletoads, tas tinrowing ng Cartoon Network. Ilang impression ko doon. Tapos, sa Microsoft kasi ang daming magagandang Blair Witch, which is surprising. Kala ko yung I forgot that particular horror game. Pero akala ko yun. Tapos Blair Witch pala. Sabi ko, okay. That makes sense kasi may tao dun sa corner. Lagi naman ganun. Tapos, ano pa ba? Minecraft Dungeons is surprising. I want to buy that game. Kasi it's ARPG tapos Minecraft siya. So finally, they're getting it. That's what I want from Minecraft. Yun ang gusto ko mangyari. Hindi dungeons. Yung para siyang para siyang Diablo.
So dungeon crawler siya?
Oh, dungeon crawler siya. Pero yung mga kalaban niya, which is, dapat yun naman talaga. Kasi yun ang inaantay ko sa a Minecraft RPG that comes out. Kasi that's what Minecraft is Yes, it's a building simulation or whatnot. Pero eventually, you go underneath the ground. Lahat ng monsters nandun and there's a story there that no one is still exploring. You just create your own story kasi pagdating sa Minecraft parang nakakatawa lang. Yun. Meron pa isa, parang interesting concept ng game. Yung 12 minutes.
Saan yun? Sino gumawa?
Ano siya para siyang time loop game. Oo. So, you're trying to change.
Parang Groundhog Day na paulit pag hindi mo na ano?
Yes. Oo. So, the story is lang parang it's the anniversary of like two couples tapos the ano yun, the girl enters the room tapos yung lalaki yung time loop So, alam niya na yung mangyayari na. Paano mo sasabihin? Kasi I think it's just 12 minutes. So, within 12 minutes, kailangan makapag-escape kayo. Go to the next. And nakakatawa doon kasi yung antagonist doon na kumakatok na kunyari police officer siya pero hindi pala, assassin pala or something. Kamukha ni Agent 47 sa Hitman. Kasi nakasuit siya ng itim tapos kalbo siya. Top down yung view. Top down yung view pare. So para sabi ko siguro same universe to.
Kulang na lang barcode.
Oo. Hindi ko makita yung barcode dun kasi top down tapos yung parang yung graphics sa iba Wala mga faces, yung parang ganun na graphic. Ayun, ang dami maganda sa Microsoft na libas kasi nga doon pinakita yung Cyberpunk, 'di ba? Borderlands 3. Tsaka yung Outer Worlds parang hindi ko gusto bigla.
Ano yung Outer Worlds nga ulit?
Yung Outer Worlds is yung the makers of Fallout Vegas. Obsidian, I guess. So yun, the makers of Fallout Vegas and they're making their own take on parang futuristic world na gano'n na parang ano din, parang Fallout din or whatnot. Pero space lang yata or something. Outer Worlds. Pero parang nakita ko yung gameplay, hindi ako natutuwa. Parang sabi ko, corny to. Corny to, hindi ako natutuwa sa inyo. Pero yun nga, aside from yung mga interesado lang yung Ghostwire Tokyo, yung mga ganyan. Wala talaga akong wala akong inaabangan talaga sa kanila ngayong E3. Wala yung masasabi ko talaga na yun nga, yung Watch Dogs Legion, okay lang. 'Di ba? Kasi feeling ko mamamatay kaagad yung playability ng Watch Dogs Legion pag natapos mo na. Hindi siya ganun kasi parang XCOM. Pag natapos mo na siya, you're only forced to like replay it for the harder versions, yung mga ganun na lang. Pero it's the same storyline. So you're gonna go through the same storyline. Wala kang chance para i-expound pa or pahabain pa yung game kasi by the end, almost mid-game na, mahirap nang kumita ng pera. Tapos mahirap na rin yung pag sa campaign map niya, mahirap na So kailangan mo na talaga putahin yung mga main missions para lang mapadali yung game. It also finishes the game so parang mahassle. Ano pa ba? So yun nga. Pero gusto ko lang siyang i-try kasi mukhang nakakatuwa siya. Gusto ko maramdaman yan. Gusto ko mag-recruit. Ayun. Ano pa ba? Wala na Otherwise, Ghost Recon Breakpoint, I'm excited about that. Pero it was announced before E3. It was shown before E3. So, I'm excited that first and finally, there will be survival elements pagdating sa isang shooting game. Not comparable to like PUBG or whatnot. Pero I'm to a point, syempre. Oo. Pero yung naglilimp ka sa battlefield, yun talaga yung gusto ko Kasi kadalasan health bar lang di ba? Health bar lang pero kaya ko pa tumakbo Di ba? Parang saan mo nakuha yung energy samantalang sa mga kahit anong movies lang Not exactly, I wouldn't know sa real life. Pero yung sa movies lang di ba? Tamaan sa paa, di ba? Parang, medic. Di ba? You need to patch that person up para makalaban siya. And even then, parang wala na. Parang 50% fighting capacity na lang siya, di ba? Kasi masakit yung, tama sa kanya Ayun. Pero dito, at least, mapapakita nila kung gaano kahirap mag-recover. Palabasin nila siguro ng mga, anong tawag dito, parang may future serum na lang sila para lumalakas sila and all that. Pero otherwise, yun, maganda naman yung idea. Ikaw, ano pang naiisip mo? Ano pang nakita mo?
Anyway, wala. I mean,
anyway kagad.
Siyempre, Star Wars. Hoping.
Sana nga maganda yung Star Wars.
KOTOR. Kasing good ng KOTOR.
Oo nga. Sana nga. Kasi single player siya no? Sana nga maganda siya. Ine-expect ko rin yun. I just hope talaga na hindi siya mag-fail. Kasi for me, if it fails, if it's like a 30-hour gameplay, if it's like a 30 to 90-hour story, hindi ako natutuwa sa ganun. Kung palalabasin nila to na parang ala Dragon Age or whatnot, branching storylines, sa maraming worlds, sa maraming planets, yung mga ganyan. Tapos talagang pupunta ka doon para lang matapos mo yung story just to find out what you were looking for. Not just to go against the Empire in itself, but to also help out other people. Then it should be an interesting, it should be an interesting story. Kaya lang kasi etong mga developers na to, they're not known for long storylines
Well, siguro this time around kasi
they learned from they learned from Planetfall 2 naman. So what am I saying? Ano to?
Battlefield? Battlefront.
Hindi yung game nila. Titanfall 2. Titanfall, Planetfall 2. Titanfall 2, they've learned from it. Kasi nga mas maganda yung story ng Titanfall 2 versus Titanfall.
At saka may sila with Lucas, ba? Yung story group ng Lucasfilm.
Maniwala ka naman magbibigay.
Hindi. Required na yun sa lahat ng
hindi. Meron silang siguro, meron silang sa EA naman kasi. So meron silang fact checker. Pero how you're gonna bring the story, I think it's
pero I mean At
If
least.
they're just developing the game, the systems, and how it's gonna look, then siguro nga, di ba? Okay yun. Mahilig naman ang EA sa mga storylines eh. Di ba? Kahit nga walang kwenta na yung story eh. Di ba? Wag lang sila mapapagod. I-release nila to wag nila i-release to ng mga 2020. Yun lang mga 2021. Okay na yun. Payag ako. Kasi tagalan nyo talaga. Kasi ang dami nyo ng sablay. Di ba? Sobrang dami na nilang sablay talaga. Kailangan nilang talaga investor dito. Talaga nagpo-pull out na ako eh. Di ba? Nabigay ko na lahat ng pera ko sa CD Projekt Red. Di ba? Sayang lang talaga. Sana lang ayusin nila. Yun. Ano pa ba? Ay, Microsoft Flight Simulator, man, it's back.
Talaga?
Oh, I mean, ngayon kasi, ang ganda ng sinabi nila is because it's satellite photos. Sabi ko, paano? Pwede ka kaya lumanding sa Pilipinas? Ano kayang itsura ng naiya? Kasi syempre on a plane, if you land if you've flown a plane, you land on NAIA, you can just see one version of it, diba? One side and all that. Syempre 3D to eh, so makikita mo yung buong kajulugan ng Metro Manila doon, ano? Hindi mo makita yung runway. So yun lang. I mean, kasi ngayon satellite talaga, so talagang tunay na na mga landscapes. Kinuha talaga nila sa satellite photos eh. Uso ngayon yun eh. I forgot what it's called, pero sa mga ray tracing technologies, uso ngayon yun eh. Yung kukuha ka isa-scan mo yung isang, meron silang ginawa parang demo for ray tracing that they scanned a particular rocky parang place dun sa sa Iceland. Tapos yung itsura niya tunay na talaga. As in talagang totoong rocks. And the thing is, since you've transported it's a scan copy, then you can move the rocks around. So yung hindi mo na kailangan i-render or gawin ka ng digital artist para gawin yung mga rocks, tunay na rocks and everything. Sila talaga in-scan na nila yung buong area. So parang talagang tunay na. Papatungan mo na lang talaga ng mga CGI. Yun na. Tunay na pelikula na. So isipin mo kung ganun yung games. Which is, I think, I don't know if Hideo Kojima did it. Pero ganun yung mga landscape niya, you know? Diba? Pero let's talk about that. Gusto mo pag-usapan yun? Kasi nagiging totoo na yung theory ko, pare.
Ano?
Di ba yung theory ko? I think I mean, my ultimate theory on how the game, kasi sabi niya, it's brand new.
Ano to yung kay Hideo?
Okay, Hideo. Itong Death Stranding. So, ano sa tingin mo? Kasi ngayon, medyo may konti ng fleshing out of what the game looks like. And what you can do in the game, di ba? Parang yun ang pinakita nila doon sa sa mga trailers and everything. So, ang akin yung I think they would be disappointed lang. Sana lang mali ako. Kasi it's gonna suck, man. The game is gonna be good, pero the overall scenario is gonna suck. So, yung iniisip ko nga kasi para kang UPS. Delivery guy ka lang. Oh, delivery guy ka lang. And you're working for this company that's trying to rebuild civilization. Or part of rebuilding civilization, di ba? And eventually, you become the pinnacle of rebuilding. Kasi ikaw yung magiging hero doon, ikaw yung magiging rason kung bakit na-rebuild yung humanity and all that. Under siege from these aliens. Kasi parang lumalabas doon, parang under siege tayo ng aliens, di ba? So parang they rule and we just live on pockets or everything like that. So we avoid certain areas kasi nandun sila. So, yun yung iniisip ko eh. Parang, so yun yung mga quest lines mo. Point A to point B.
Tapos
oo. Kasi yun talaga yung hawak niya. Tsaka yung mga, nakita mo yung mga weapons niya, parang may ladder ka para lang makaakyat ka ng mountains. So parang sabi ko, ay, puro utility ka. Tapos binigyan siya ng, I forgot what the term that they have there, yung parang, may baby ka. Bridge baby, di ba? Parang bridge baby. Para lang, ano ba to? Para ma-detect, di ba? Para ma-detect mo kung merong ano. So parang, yun. So, level up ka na nun. Oh, pwede ka na kumuha ng bridge baby. Tapos para mas madali mo ma-detect yung mga, i-deliver mo pang point A to point B. Tapos siguro parang mga resistance kayo. So, ikaw yung nandoon. Pero, never mo siya nakita talagang lumalaban eh. Nakikipagbarilan. And the way he's walking, the way he's running is typical of Hideo Kojima running from MGS5. Sobrang sablay ng takbo. Hindi siya yung athletic run. I think, yung takbo niya is parang someone with like heavy gear that's trying to run. Pero hindi siya, the movements is not military, the movements ganyan, parang athletic lang. Hindi naman siya, parang lang siya, built lang siyang tao. So parang sabi ko, oh God. And also yung theory, yung sa cyber theory on what Keanu Reeves is, I think he's a hallucination eh. He's probably your guide to the entire Cyberpunk 2077 world. Pero he's not, kumbaga para siyang Fight Club.
Conscience?
Oo, para siyang ganun lang. It's parang si Tyler Durden lang siya. So wala talaga siya doon, ikaw talaga yon or whatever. Parang iniisip ko lang.
So parang, kasi merong isang info na ang daming lines ni Keanu sa game na to.
Tsaka nag-glitch siya eh, diba? So yun lang iniisip ko, parang wala to. Madami siyang lines, ibig sabihin talagang tutulungan niya yung character. Diba? Iniisip ko yun, parang ginawa na ng Destiny yun kay Peter Dinklage, diba? Dahil siya rin yung guide, marami siyang lines. Kasi the entire time siya yung nagsasalita, tuturo sa'yo, this is ganito, this is ganyan, usually ganyan. Quirky Kirit. So, inisip ko parang siyang Tyler Durden, so yun. Nakakainis pag masyado ka na maraming napanood ng mga plots paulit-ulit na lang. Grabe, pipredict mo na talaga sila Pero yun yung theory ko pagdating sa let it be on the record. Recorded to, bakit? Na yun yung theory ko na kung ano yung Death Stranding. Diba? So, sige. Yun yung iniisip ko. Malalim yung story niya, malalim yung lore. Kasi syempre, pero yung gameplay niya, courier ka talaga doon. You're not like MGS5, you're part of a military group. Kasi nakikita, lahat ng mga armor na ginawa niya, yung sinasabi niya yung parang yung mga parang bungo, di ba yung bago niyang tatak? Parang bungo na helmet or something like that. Sa kalaban eh. Hindi sa iyo eh. Sa kalaban eh. Sa elite na grupo eh. Sila anong pangalan na? Sino yan? Yung antagonist doon? Artist doon.
Kalimutan ko na.
Oo, yun. Si Hannibal Lecter. Yun. So, siya yung siya yung group eh. Diba?
Oo, pangalan nun. Alam ko lang, lumabas siya Star Wars. Diba?
Hans Mikkelsen,
pangalan? Sige, yun.
Ayun, si Mikkelsen. Ayun, siya yung doon, siya yung may elite group, siya yung may mga gandang armor, punya yung mga ganyan. Pero ikaw, wala ka. So palalabasin nila is parang wala kang laban sa kanila, you're powerless. So ganoon na naman kasi Hideo Kojima talaga yun eh. Makakapangyarihan yung mga kalaban mo and all you can do is run. That's tapos ang mga gamit mo is survival lang. It's not exactly to fight or kill your opponents, but to give you a not fighting chance, pero surviving chance. Na parang, may ladder ka, makakaakyat sila, hindi sila makakaakyat. Yung ganun. Diba? Tapos may pandetect ka sa kanila, nadidetect mo sila, so alam mo kung tatakbo ka na malayo. Nag-i-sneak ka pa doon, pinakita. Kaya pwede mong gamitin yung grass para mag-sneak-sneak. Diba? Kaya lang yung naglalaro doon sa biglang tumakbo siya eh. Nakita siya sa line of sight eh, syempre. Ban. Pero yun nga, sneak ka lang, ganyan, so makikita mo sila, kung yung mga aliens na yung lalabas sa woods, ganyan. Ay, nako, sabi ko, sana hindi masyado. Pero sa tingin ko, malalim yung story. So, ikaw magiging you're our only hope na courier na ganyan. So, inisip ko, sabi ko, siguro yung entire plot to ng The Postman. Oo, yung parang ayaw naman talaga niya maging postman. Nakita lang niya yung parang sinuot lang niya yung damit. Diba?
The reluctant hero.
Reluctant hero. Oo. Kasi syempre si Norman Reedus yun eh. Paano ba yung acting niya? Hindi naman siya glorified, hindi naman siya parang si Chris Evans, di ba? Hindi siya parang hero type eh. Anti-hero palagi yung role niya eh, di ba? Na parang pro-bold person na ganyan. Itsura pa niya. Hindi pa siya binago ng itsura dun sa game.
Oo nga.
Yung itsura niya, magulo pa rin, oily, ganyan. Kala mo si Severus Snape eh. Di ba? So, yun yung iniisip ko sa kanya na parang hindi niya man talaga siya yun. Nanggaya lang siya. So parang 'di ba yung rin? Ano yun? Maraming reluctant heroes na nagiging nagiging hit, 'di ba? Parang yung Pandora. Ano to? Yung Avatar, 'di ba? It was not supposed to.
Nakalimutan ko na yun.
Yung Avatar is not supposed to be him. The only reason why he on Pandora is because his twin brother died. They need his DNA to continue the suit. Diba? And he was in it for the money. Yun lang. Kasi nga, siya, patapon siyang tao. Pilay siya. Diba? So, patapon siya. Parang lalasing-lasing lang siya. Ganyan. Diba? So, ginrab niya yung chance. Pero ang gusto lang niya doon, pera. Dati siyang marine. Pero hindi na siya magamit kasi wala siyang paa. Diba? So, parang, parang naglay. Parang, ewan ko kung ano meron sa paa niya. Parang I think yung spine niya yata or something. Pero wala na, hindi niya na magamit yung paa niya. Wheelchair siya and everything. So, yung Avatar gave him feet to walk through kasi tuwan-tuwa siya, di ba? So, reluctant hero na eventually, sige na, let's fight for ganyan na lang, di ba? So, inisip ko, yun din yung mga story niya. So, parang sabi ko, yun nga siguro yung entire, plot ng, The Postman ni, Kevin, paano niya? Kevin Costner. Flop din yun eh. Parang Waterworld. Sabi ko tayo. Sipin mo plot ni Kevin Costner, yung Dances with Wolves, yun yung Avatar. Tapos ito naman. Wow, kinukunan talaga nila ng world na dyan. Ay, sabagay, madaming post-apocalyptic na pwede kang kunin, di ba? Waterworld, pinredict na nga nun yung future ng mankind eh. Lately ko nga lang na-realize na yung napanood mo na yung Waterworld, di ba?
Oo, napanood ko na.
So, naisip ko parang yung plot ng Waterworld, sabi ko, yung mapa, parang sa likod ng bata na tato. Sabi ko, ay, Everest pala yun.
Ano?
Di ba? Kasi yung mga nakita nila mga patay doon is Chinese. So sabi ko, oh my God. Sabi ko, yung pala yun. So, sila yung malapit na bansa, sila yung mga nag-aakyat doon. Siyempre, highest peak. So, Everest. Sabi ko, Everest. Wala, kaya pala bundok yung nandoon. Kala ko island lang. Yung tinaturo. Everest pala yun. Okay. Sabi ko, yun. Yun. So, ano pa? Tagal din natin nagka-episode, bro.
Oo nga eh.
So, anyway. Ang nakakatawa lang, kaya lang kasi hindi pa nila na-announce. Usually, September nila i-announce yun. Then, September yung release. Pero dapat July na nila i-announce yun is yung NBA 2K20. NBA 2K20, yeah. 2K20 na. So, dapat in-announce na nila ngayon. Yung pinakita man lang nila. But I think they're rehashing everything because freaking 2K18 and 2K19 is like all microtransactions and all money, ganyan. So I think they're, baka kasi bumaba yung sales nila. I don't know. Yun yung mga yearly thing kasi that we expect. Pero yun, okay. So, ano pa? Wala na. So, wala na. Hindi dumating si si Vibes.
Hindi na.
Vibes. Wala po si Vibes ngayon kasi meron siyang work. Alam mo naman yun, nasa UAE ngayon or nasa Qatar siya yata. Iba yata yung takbo. So, yung oras nila, I think it's 5 hours late. I think she's still in the office or whatnot. So, medyo nauna tayo sa kanya lang. So, yun. I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Kung meron kayong mga comments din sa mga pinagsasabi namin ngayon, yung mga opinions namin and everything, just go and let us know on the comments pag pinost namin sa Facebook and everything. So, yeah. Anything else, John, man?
Yun lang. Hoping for good,
Star
game.
Wars ka talaga. Hoping for Star Wars to work.
Yes.
Anyway, I also hope kasi matagal na tayong walang good Star Wars game other than yung mga Battlefront na yan na parang multiplayer lang naman. So, yeah. All right. So, I hope you have a good day. This was shot on Father's Day. So, happy Father's Day, pare.
Happy Father's Day din. Pati sa mga audience natin.
Oo nga, sa mga audience nyo. Okay. So, mga bumibili ng mga laro, batiin nyo sila. Yun. So, yun na lang. So, you have a great day and thank you for listening to Puro Laro Podcast.
Sige. Pagaling ka.